Captain, you ready? Captain.
What the? I guess I'm the captain now. Proceed.
Yeah.
What is going on, everybody out there in podcast land? How are you tonight?
Hello, my darlings.
I hit the unmute button right as soon as you gave us a nice throat clear there, Monster. It was like perfect timing. Just how you know it's going to be a vibe tonight.
Oh my god.
I was doing a torch dab.
Oh yeah? Well, that begs the question, sir. What was it that you were combusting upon?
The Pure Michigan live resin.
Oh. Delicious.
Supplies are running low on that. I've gone through quite a bit.
Well, I mean, when you get one of those electric dabbers and you're, enjoying the terp, I don't know, the whole the specific terp profile you've got. Exactly. Thank you, G3.
You're welcome.
Then it's hard not to go through something real fast,
Yeah.
I've been enjoying the cold starts with the torch, though. I do like it.
That's the way to go.
Yeah, that's old school. That's actually the best way to get a great terpy hit from it, I think.
Yes. Low temps, low and slow.
Yeah, but I do, even though it's a cold start, I get it nice and hot. Nice and hot. Like me a hot dab.
No, I like it nice and cool.
Cold.
The problem with cold dabs is you do inevitably end up wasting a decent amount.
Do you ever have to go back and reheat?
Worth it. The sacrifice is worth it.
Like with your hand torch, like you ever do a second heat of the oil that doesn't get?
You can.
You can, especially with the electronic dab rigs, like the
electronic ones,
and the Puffcos and stuff. Yeah, you can go back and double hit those, but not in an actual rig.
100% the electronic ones, but the torch dabs negative.
No.
It tastes terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean you're dabbing for the terps anyway. So I agree.
Which is why you end up wasting a lot. Like if you don't, I have a buddy when we take dabs together, he'll go for the seconds, no problem. You know what I mean? And I just let him because he's basically cleaning the fucking nail. Go ahead, dude. I mean, he gets pissed when I
take the sloppy seconds.
I wipe them out. I don't like it. It really does affect the flavor tremendously.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not even close. So no, that's a negative.
Agreed. Well, cool. Yeah, and that's right, Brother Bear. I would wager that those are indeed meat terps in that Pure Michigan live
Pure
rosin.
Michigan.
Yeah,
you know it.
Very like bologna-esque.
Oh yeah, love that. Like a Lebanon bologna or like an Oscar Mayer.
I'd say more like a cheap Oscar Mayer. How it's funny, right? Like that's the one flour that I can't smoke in the house, like around my wife. She hates it. It's offensive. I would say that the concentrate does not carry over that quality. you still get that same flavor, obviously intensified, but
Yeah.
the smell doesn't linger in the air like the flower. The flower does. Like you smoke it and you come in, you're like it almost kind of smells like somebody shit their pants and smoked the joint in the house, you know?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Offensive.
That's no good. I mean, meat terps can range like a wide spectrum, man. Like I was reminded this week on the Discord by someone like mentioning way back when I grew a creme de la creme from Mephisto.
Creme de la
Creme de la creme, yeah. Creme de la creme. So it was like gross, man. It was like blood. It was like irony blood, and like I believe I mentioned it. It tasted like I'm not going to remind you.
Yeah, I
what it
distinctly
tasted
remember
like.
that episode.
But it was
Thanks,
go
man.
back and listen. It was a High Again episode. Brought him on, but it was like it tasted like blood and pennies and fucking rusty nails.
Mm-hmm. No bueno.
No bueno. But I mean, like, kind of got me high. Definitely got me high. It was just like kind of left a bad
vampire
taste
weed.
in the mouth. Yeah, wasn't my favorite. So, what about you, G3? What you got tonight?
I have my last cone of witch's brew, and then it's gone, and then I have to grow it. So she's gonna hit the soil like tomorrow.
I'm sorry, what were you smoking?
Witch's brew.
Oh, yeah, the witch.
And BGG.
It's
Last
nice.
one. The last one.
And
then it's
that is going to be the seed drop, if I'm correct, right?
gone.
Yep.
I believe
right,
so.
Cool. Yeah, we're getting that squared away soon, guys.
For our wonderful
Squared away soon.
Patreons. Because
Yes, sir.
love you so much.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
That and some I believe it's Cushion OJ from Joint. Hold on, let me look. I fucking forget.
So we got 2 going out at once?
Yeah, I'm gonna double drop.
Super.
Yep, Cushion OJ.
Because we're not good at timing.
Because we owe you.
Yeah. I think
All
it's
right,
just
cool.
better that way. Yeah.
Cool.
I have a
Yum.
bulk vial of
If anybody hasn't experienced joints,
Cushion
OJ,
thank you to Joint Custody. There's probably about 400
Holy
seeds
shit.
here or so.
Yeah, that's...
thanks, Joint. We love you.
Yeah, thanks, Joint.
All love to BGG too. I cannot wait for this drop. I'm so excited to grow her. BGG's the best.
You know what's... It's funny that, we love BGG, we love Joint, we love Outcast, we love Goonie, we love all our guys. Mr. Auto Grow, Alabrije. Shoot, who am I forgetting?
You're
Obviously
missing.
someone. I'm sure I'm forgetting someone. But regardless, Joint's Cushion OJ. Okay, it's bred into a bunch of his strains. This particular grow along. And I am seeing it come through in like strain after strain after strain. It doesn't matter whose garden it's in. It doesn't matter which particular new variety you're growing. If it has that Cushion OJ in it, more it's that like BB and OJ number 4, which has that Cushion OJ. But you can just see it coming through. Like those genes are so dominant. It's one of the interesting parts of doing a grow along,
Mm-hmm. Man, this girl along is killing it. You guys are
it's-
killing it. Holy hell.
It's gonna be
pretty impressive. Some pretty impressive fucking pictures so far.
The
must say.
colors. Oh my goddess. Mind blowing. Gorgeous.
Yep.
It is a treat to be in there.
Really is. And we just have some super talented guys and gals, growing along with us. It is a sight to behold, I would say we're kind of like rounding that final curve right now. Well, most of us.
You guys are.
Not
I'm
the ones
bringing up the rear.
The ones that are dilly-dallying in the
She'll
back.
get there eventually. Time is a construct.
So
It is.
we might as well get right into that then. So I got a funny story.
Wait,
hold
no, it
up.
happens when I'm smoking.
Oh,
Yep,
okay.
I got an
Just a rock.
important. What are you smoking on?
Yeah.
I got a little sample of someone's homegrown, one of our community members. So I want to give Opie a big old shout out and thank you.
In this week's episode of Welfare Weed.
This-
Thanks,
that's
Opie.
right. In the donate to the Keep Captain High Fund, and my poorly planned grow that like left me destitute and on the streets. So without
The
your
worst planning in your career, I would say. I would say in your entire time as a grower,
horrible.
this is the worst timing you've had.
It is absolutely abysmal, G3. I'm embarrassed at how
And the funny thing is,
poorly.
this is not the first time that this has happened to you, or the second, or maybe even the third. Like, this is a reoccurring issue.
I've gotten
It
pretty
keeps getting
close.
worse.
I've gotten pretty close, but like I think what happened this time, it was a combination. Like I said, I was super generous with my supply, and I did have a plan. I had a plan, but I got punched in the mouth.
Right.
Right. Remember my clones failed, and that was
Yeah.
gonna be the harvest that kind of like supplemented me and kept me going into this one. So like I had a failed clone into veg kind of thing, and then fucking spider mites.
Yeah.
I'm like I should have another tent flipped. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, like I
This
had a
goes to show
plan.
you, no matter how many years you have in the game, like it can sneak up on you.
Sure can. So, I'm getting by with a little help from my friends. I'm getting high with a little help from my friends. And
Hey, whatever it takes. All hands on deck.
that's right. But so let me let me give you a fresh little walk you through the hit here. So this is the strain I'm smoking is AK Ghost Breath. Now I looked that up. I'm always like a curious smoker. So when I get a new strain on the bag or whatever, I Google search it. I believe this is a Brother Mendel selection, and it is a photo period. If I, just based on what the name says, I'm gonna wager there's AK-47 in there. There's got to be.
What gave it away?
It's the breath, absolutely the breath.
That's right. That's right.
I knew it as soon as you said it.
That's right. Let's say there's probably also like maybe a Mendo breath in there, and like a Ghost Train haze. I don't know. Sounds logical. Almost a little too much so. Here, I'm forgetting now. I'm gonna do the Google search on the fly. AK Ghost Breath Strain.
So it like Ghost High or Ghost Train Haze or
Yeah, those are my guesses. So all right, it's
what else is ghosty?
we got. All right, we were close. It's got the AK-47. That's one parent, and then the other side is Ghost in the Machine, crossed with Cherry Pie.
Where's the breath come from? If somebody says breath, I'm immediately thinking it's either Mendo breath or peanut butter breath.
So the combination of Ghost in the Machine and Cherry Pie was itself a release called OG Ghost Breath. It makes sense now. So it's OG Ghost Breath crossed with AK-47.
How do you get breaths out of ghosts and pies?
Don't know. There's got to be, like, if you were to Google both of those strains, there's got to be a breath in there somewhere.
Yeah, I bet you if you look back at the lineage.
There's got to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Got to be.
Everything's all made up anyway.
Just keep that in mind, because we will be circling back to everything being fake and not what you think it is. It's been a lot of that going around, but in any case, all right. I want to do this man his justice here. AK Ghost Breath from Opie.
Better not be swag.
Oh my gosh, I so want somebody to do that. Somebody get a whole bag of trim and send it to Cal. That would be funny as hell.
Hey, man, I'll give you a smoke report. I'll be honest. All right, so very smooth. Very smooth. Like, it didn't, like, expand my lungs at all. I don't feel like I'm about to cough. It is, I would say, dried on the moist side of dry, if you know what I mean by that, which I prefer. I don't know. Got any thoughts on that, guys? Like, would you rather have it
I don't like it
a
too
little
moist.
too moist or too dry?
No, it
I'd ra-
doesn't burn right if it's too wet.
as long as it hasn't got to the point where it's dried so bad that it degraded the terps. I like it on the drier side. Personally.
I agree.
Okay. There's a fine line, but regardless, if you get it a little too moist, if it comes out of the tent, you're like 65, 68% humidity in the jar. I mean, you can always just burp the jar, get it to where you want. There's no going back once it's too dry, I guess
That's
is
right.
what I'm saying. So I prefer it a little on the moist side, I will say. Here, I want to bring up the screen of this strain too. Can get a nice picture while we're talking about it. AK Ghost Breath.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah, right. Very nice. So this, I would say, like terp wise, it's very interesting. It's on the gassy, but like, it's like gas and cookies. Like it's sweet, but it's gassy. If you know what I mean by that. Maybe has a little.
Sounds good.
Yeah, right. There's nothing not to like. There's some of those, baking spices and a little fruity note, but like mostly gas. It's, really nice. So
it's like gas station fruitcake.
that would be a great. That would actually be a better name for it than AK Ghost Breath. Not gonna lie. Gas station fruitcake.
Yeah. I like it.
Love it. But it's delicious regardless, and extremely well grown, I must say. So kudos to Opie.
Nice work, brother.
And thank you. And thank you.
It's so kind of you to share, truly. The community has been wonderful helping Cap in his time of need.
Oh, the best. I mean, like again, like this is it's embarrassing, I will say, but like, yeah, I'm making it work with the help of the friends. You know what I mean?
I think it's wonderful that it shows that it happens to the best of us.
It does, man. It does. But yeah, so before we move on to bigger and brighter things, I just have to say real quick, I'm making it through. The light at the end of the tunnel, I see it. There's, the darkness shall not last.
You sure it's not a freight train?
Dude, I fucking hope so. Pretty sure. I'm like 95% sure it's not. So.
Word.
Yeah, 3 more weeks, man, and I'll be chopping. I feel confident about it. I've been very, I've kept up with my chores, let's just say, and we're gonna beat this fucking thing.
All right.
So, amen.
Mm-hmm. You got it.
Hell yeah. Now, what were we gonna talk about, man? We wanted to talk about.
Monster was gonna bring up something.
Grow along.
The grow along. Yes.
So, it was actually, I discovered this after the show Tuesday night. I figured it out. I go and I'm like looking at my tent and I'm like, man, I see no signs of these plants showing me any sex at all. And it's been like over a week. And like, if you get up close, you should usually be able to see something, right? So I'm looking, I'm like, fuck it. And then I'm like, I look at my timer and my timer was just stuck to on. Like I
oh no.
I had fat fingered it. So I changed the cycle. Like the timer settings were correct, but it wasn't on auto. It was it was just on.
It was on like the outlet setting.
Like a shithead. Okay. So
I've done that before.
That's total rookie mistake, dude.
Oh, dude. total. And so I was so fucking pissed when I discovered it. Like, I'm like, man, what the fuck? Because it took me a while. Like, it's the last thing I looked at before I went to bed, and then I went to bed aggravated. I'm like, you fucking jackass. So it has since been remedied. But Jesus fucking Christ, what else can go wrong? You know?
Man, it happens to the best of us, like G3 said.
Yep.
For sure. Like there's just so many moving parts. You know what I mean? Like you got to stay on top of all these little things all the time. And for stoners like us, man, that's a challenge.
Especially when it can be like little things, like
It's
I
just
don't know,
stupid shit.
the temperature setting
That's
flipped,
just
or
not paying attention. If I had literally, yeah, I know. If I had literally looked at the screen after I was done setting the fucking timer, I would have noticed it right away.
Gotcha. So you have a digital like timer that
Yep.
there was like a not
So the
just
way
like one
so
of
the
those
way it
old
works.
school
No,
clicky ones.
I don't use those. The way it works is basically there's three modes to the timer. You have on, you have auto, and then you have off. So if you have it just on, well, you're just gonna get on. It's not gonna use the timer. So I had set the the time frame correctly for flowering, but you basically the timer was off. It was bypassed just by not turning it on auto mode instead of you know instead I just left it on.
Oh.
So yeah, so
Oh.
I I gave my plants like 4 or 5 days to recover with a normal 18/6 light schedule, and then flipped them.
Okay. Just to get them back like on the straight and narrow.
And that probably still wasn't even enough time. But 24 hours of light is way better than like a week of darkness, right? It so it is
just
what
an
it is.
extra week of super veg
So
before we flip.
yeah, right. So we got Brother Bear says he's pulling a captain, like over vegging. So how many weeks of veg are you at now, and how big are those plants?
Well, keep in mind they were stunted to no, like like heavily stunted in half-gallon pots for too long. So
Gotcha.
I'd say they're probably a little over 2 feet tall, but they got thick stems. They're thick. So
Yeah, you've been
they,
using
they,
that grow
they just
genius.
I
Grow
am a
genie?
little bit here and there, but they're old plants. I mean, I think I don't remember when I planted them, but I want to say like November. Yeah,
Yeah, it
November.
was. I think we popped like right in that like Thanksgiving window, didn't we?
Yeah, and they didn't. I didn't put them into 5 gallon pots and start like really taking it seriously until a couple weeks ago. They were just
Okay.
abused. They were just abused.
Gotcha.
So, yep. And interestingly enough, the one I was talking about that was canoed for no reason. The leaves were fucking tacoed up. Remember, I took a leaf off.
We thought it was
Yeah.
maybe a mutant.
I don't know if it's coincidence or whatever, but after a week of fucking light, straight light, the tacoing went away.
Yeah, so that's interesting, man. Like, it was probably just showing you that it wasn't happy with its like DLI situation. You know what I mean?
I find that hard to believe with a fucking 480-watt panel and a 3x3. It's just interesting. It's a weird plant. I don't even know how to describe it. I'm waiting for it to go back to full blown retard like it was last week. But it's right now. It's
You went full retard, man.
yeah. It's
Never
still
go
looking
full
good.
retard.
We're gonna find out if it was the light, right? Like I've never
Yeah,
seen
dude,
I've never seen anything like this.
I have to
Listen,
believe. I mean, it's like
but
if
it's
if
the
it were
exact
getting
opposite of what you
too
would
much
think.
light, it would
You-
taco, and it
Plant
just showed
taco,
you that.
but it was tacoing from lack of light. That makes fucking zero sense to me. You know what I mean? So like, I give it 24 hours of light for a week or so, and it starts, and the tacoing goes away. It's like totally counterintuitive.
Oh, I thought you meant because
No.
you were giving it 24 hours of light when you thought you had
No.
flipped, right?
No. This the tacoing has been it's during its whole existence, that plant's
Okay.
existence,
Gotcha.
and
Gotcha.
the one next to it has always been fine.
Totally
Now,
weird.
now it gets a week of straight fucking light, and the
And it
tacoing
likes
gets
it.
away. Kind of weird.
Uh,
It listen. It could have also just been a coincidence of maybe it's like finally settling into its new home in the 5 gallon pot because it was kind of abused. I don't know. Whatever. We're gonna find out because now it went back to a regular light cycle for 4 or 5 days, and I did flip it and confirm that it's on its light cycle 2 days ago.
all right. So we're on the straight and narrow now. We're
We're on
back.
the straight and narrow now.
All
Yeah.
right, we're back
There's nothing that can stop me now
from the
except for
edge.
myself.
Dude,
Yeah.
man, like it's I tell you, man, especially when you get like, you know what I mean? You lose focus in the garden in the slightest way. You get wrapped up in life, some shit
Yeah.
happens. I mean, you're
Nobody
not
can stop me but myself. That's it.
for
You know?
sure.
Gotta
You got
be.
all the know-how, but it's making it all dotting the T's and crossing the I's. Wait,
Yeah.
reverse that.
Whatever. We get
Reverse
the
that.
point.
Yeah, it's detail, and it's like it's
Yeah.
being, having the. I feel you, man. I feel you. So I'm glad you got it all worked out, though. That's
Thank you, brother.
must have been a scary situation when you walked in there and were like,
Not
"What
scary,
gives?"
more aggravated. Like I'm like pissed off because I had said something to myself that like a day or so prior. I'm like, man, I don't fucking see anything here. It's kind of weird. I'm expecting. So then after the grow, because I had still left my tent open a little bit when I pulled out that plant after the show Tuesday. Before I zipped it up, I just had the mindset I'm looking in. I'm in there with I have a little loop, a little 10 times magnifier loop, and I'm getting close to the stem, and I'm trying to see any signs of flowering and all, and I see nothing. And that's when I was like, what the fuck? Like usually after a week or so, and I think it might even been more, you see something.
Yeah.
Like it may not be obvious to the naked eye, but when you get up close
Mm-hmm.
with magnification, you can usually see something.
Even
And so,
just like the macro lens on a phone, usually you can like get in there enough to see a little white hair,
yeah, no, nothing. These plants were just, still in veg, no
Man,
signs of flower. So that's when I was, started thinking about it, and it didn't take me long to narrow it down. Really, the fucking timer.
of course. It's
Yep.
always the timer or the dimmer. We've had that issue before.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's just when you have to switch a parameter in your garden for whatever reason. Always double check it, triple check it. You know, make sure and don't just like rely on the sensor or like the reading of it from like an app or something. I would actually physically go like look at the thing, make sure everything is right. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
And then when it does inevitably fail, give yourself some grace because it
yeah,
happens to everybody.
there's something I wanted
that's
to
right.
experiment with. Is using the UIS as a timer. I know that that's an option. Um, I may play around with that because that's a little bit more straightforward. Like, there's no, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
well, I shouldn't say it's straightforward. It's definitely not more straightforward. It's way more complicated. But
Yeah,
I think it's easier to like look at and notice because that is something I open up and I look at every day, right? So it's I think I would notice a mistake like that. Plus, it's easy once you have these parameters, you have these automations set up, right? You can have them set up ahead of time. So, like, let's say you have a veg automation for your light cycle, you have a flower automation for your light cycle, and they're pretty easy to set up. Maybe one of these days we'll try to walk somebody through it. But
man. Yeah, what you mean in setting up a AC Infinity automation?
yeah, because there's a lot
Oh,
of shit you can do just even with the basic UIS system. You can automate everything. You can automate your
you
lights.
can.
You can automate fans, whatever, humidifiers, dehumidifiers, heaters, you name it. You can automate it. So it is pretty
But yeah, we could
pretty
figure
cool.
it out, man. like doing it is a bit of a challenge to wrap your head around. Like, all right, what exactly do I want to do here, and like which of these options on this app will get me to that end? You know what I
Well,
mean?
like when I think of it specifically, like for instance, you have day and night cycles, right? And you want to have different parameters for the day and night in regards to mainly like temperature and humidity.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's no day and night control on the AC Infinity, but you can set up automations to run at specific times, which is basically like a workaround to get day and night control. For instance, the heater, right? The AC Infinity heater.
Yeah.
During the day, I use that as dehumidification. I've talked about this before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Using heat as and then at night it also will dehumidify, but it's mainly used for heat. So during the day, I have a parameter set that if humidity gets too high, kick this heater on until it goes below this threshold. So I have it working,
Nice.
basically doing reheat for dehumidification. And
Smart.
during the night, it's set for a parameter to if it gets below this temperature, come on.
And you can control like the time of which, when those parameters switch
Yeah, you
over.
could literally set up 10 different or more automations
Right.
for whatever device you want, and then you can set the parameters as far as temperature and humidity, and then time as well.
I found it a little challenging, not gonna lie.
It is at
And-
first, and honestly, I'm not gonna lie, this is something I just figured out probably a year ago, and it's been on a long time as far as like the automations go. Because that was one thing that I always complained about, and I've actually wasted money on what things that you call day-night controllers for like heaters and things like that, because you need different settings during the day than you do at night, especially for like mini splits and things like that. And I've wasted money on things that I didn't need when I had it there right in front of me the whole time. You just had to know how to use the tools you already had. So
True.
UIS has its issues, but I think overall, dollar for dollar, it's pretty solid as far as like automation purposes go.
It's handy, and you got it
Yeah,
all there in the app too, which is
yeah. I
great.
mean, look, there are better solutions, but you're going to spend a lot more money, and it's not as easy to get as like you can order the UIS shit right on Amazon and have it at your door tomorrow, or go to your hydro store
Yeah.
and pick it up whatever you need. So
Now, so you mentioned using it for lights. I have it in my 3x3. I tried to set up I do have it set up an automation in the app with the light, like when it turns on, when it turns off, how bright it gets, blah blah blah. It is not an AC Infinity light. I think it's a Mars Hydro, and
it's
I'm
still
using
allowing you to control the brightness,
adapter.
though.
It is.
Nice.
However, it's like I've noticed it flickers. It like there's issues with it. Like sometimes it'll get real bright and then it'll get like dim, but it's just like for a second it'll have like this little flash. It goes back to normal. Honestly, the plants don't seem to mind.
What kind of
So
fixture
I
is
just
this?
left it. Say it again.
Solar
What kind
flares?
of light is this?
It's a Mars Hydro, so it has. And look, we got someone in the chat who says he's experiencing the same thing, perhaps.
That's interesting.
So the Mars Hydro Light has one of those. I think we called him an RJ11 connector,
See, if I were going to be using it,
like a phone.
I wouldn't be using it that way. I would literally just be using it to control a timer, like on and off function. Like turn my light off here at this time and turn it off at this time.
That's what I'm doing essentially. But in that, you have to program like, well, how bright do you want the light to get when it's on?
I bet you could just eliminate the Ethernet plug and just use it without the brightness settings. Just use it as a timer.
I could try. I don't know, man. Like, because what you're doing is you're bypassing the dimmer in like and having it on the UIS thing, and it's like it's sending all the commands through the app, and then it's like you tell it like, all right, well, I want it to get up to like a 6 out of 10. I don't know. That could very well be what it is, but I haven't found a way to dial in the brightness then, because if you
I would just turn the dimmer up all the way and fucking
Man,
brightness.
it's too bright, man. I got like it's a 480 watt light,
Well,
and a 3x3.
Then I would manually just dim it, and like I said, just try to use it for. Now, Matt Fratt, if you're still there, are you having those issues? Are you connecting it with the RJ connector as well and trying to use it?
I wonder.
Because
or is it using an AC Infinity light?
Yeah, that makes a. I'd like to know. Yeah,
we were right on that together.
Yeah,
he's using the connector. Yeah, he's using the RJ11, man.
Yeah, so I bet you that's the problem with it. I'm willing to bet right now.
Gotta be.
If you eliminate the RJ11 and forego using any brightness settings and just using it as on and off, like dim it manually with the knob to wherever you want it.
Like in order to connect an off-brand light to the AC Infinity,
no, you're overthinking
system. You have to have that plug, man. It's an adapter.
No, you don't. Because you just use the UIS plug and you tell it that it's a light and you just tell it to go on at this time and off at this time. It's literally that simple.
Like, you mean like the plug, like the
UIS plug?
Okay, because I'm talking about like I have mine plugged into my the controller 69 plus.
Yeah,
Pro Plus, right?
Yeah, I would.
There's
an
adapter.
I would go around it a different way. I would
plug
that
it
light.
into that.
I would plug it right into a UIS plug and plug the UIS plug into the controller.
Like into the wall, UIS system. All right.
I almost want to get up and try it right now to see if it would work. But I mean, I'm not gonna get live, flicker like right now. But I bet you that would work just fine.
It's not perfect yet, man, but
yeah,
it works. And like I said, the plants don't seem to mind the flicker. Like, I know it's like kind of a, if you're a little OCD about it, it would bother you, but
as long as it's not happening at night when the lights are off, then
no, there's no it doesn't power on when it's off. It's just when it's on, the brightness is a little variable.
That would be a much bigger fucking problem.
I know, right? Could you imagine?
That's why I anytime I'm running more than one light or anything with high amperage, I use lighting controllers.
Can you imagine just you have all the settings right, but for some reason your controller just tells your lights to turn on for 30 minutes every dark period.
There's people with janky ass timers and shit that fucking, believe it or not, do that. I feel like the more bells and whistles a light has too, you just kind of open yourself up for fucking problems.
Oh, for sure. Mm-hmm. Keep it simple, stoner. For sure. But yeah, harvest, man. Let's talk about some of these people, myself included.
What you mean, these people?
Some of these growers who are rounding that corner, coming up on that harvest window, obviously, we're seeing a lot of pretty pictures and stuff. But what exactly are we looking for when we are determining, when's the right time to take them to the other side?
I try not to overcomplicate it. It's pretty simple. I mean, I use some visual cues from the plant by looking at it to whether or not I go deeper in with my phone and take a good shot of the trichromes. And once I see a little bit of amber, and it's been at the right amount of time frame, I chop. I chop earlier than most because I like terps. I feel like the longer you go, the more amber you get, the less terps you get. That's just my opinion. If you think about it from a scientific standpoint, terps, that amber is actually degradation. So it's the peak moment of trichrome freshness, for lack of a better adjective, is the moment it goes any amber at all. It's like right there. Like that's it. That's at its fucking peak for terps.
Amber's actually the THC converted to like CBN, right?
CBN.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing I've noticed too, when like they're all super cloudy, right? And even if you don't see any amber, if you chop them bitches down and hang them, like fucking, you go in a couple hours later, you'll notice those things have ambered up
Hell yeah.
significantly.
Mm-hmm.
So I chop probably sooner than most, and you know the trichrome's the ultimate determining factor at the end of the day.
Okay.
I've had some plants that'll fucking they'll continue shooting out, white pistils, and it can trick you into making you think that they're going to go longer, but some plants just do that, no matter what.
Yeah.
And I promise you, if you let them go longer thinking that they're going to produce more, you're just going to lose in the end.
Sometimes I find too when they're shooting out those late white pistols, like they're coming from weird kind of protrusions. You know what I mean? That's not like symmetrical growth
Yeah.
anymore. Like it's starting to foxtail. That's how you know it's.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Brittany's here.
Oh yeah, nice. What's up?
Hey Brett.
Hey, Britt.
Welcome.
Yeah, I feel like those are like that's the Hail Mary, the last ditch efforts. The oh shit, the entire species is going to die with me. I must produce children. I have to get we need to get pollinated now. We're gonna throw out all the stops.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Right. That's the point where you get nanners too. Because she's trying to save the species.
Yeah.
So you want to? I mean, we want to chop before that kind of nonsense happens, and I think being on the early side is probably your best bet. We don't want to let our plants go too long.
You don't want to go too early though, too. I've seen a lot of people fall victim to that, especially first time growers.
Absolutely.
Like they're super eager to get that harvest. You pull too early, and I ain't talking so much about like people say, oh, it could be racy or whatever. I'm talking about like just development of the flower and the terpene profile, right? It's just not going to quite be there if you pull too early. Plus, you're good.
And what if
They pack on a lot of weight, especially like that last 10 days.
They do, man. That like last 2 weeks of that's when you'll really notice your branches leaning at the very end, if you don't have them staked or whatever, if you don't have a net, they might be touching the floor by that point. It's happened. But what other like visual cues are you looking for? Is it just trichomes, or what if your trichomes are turning amber? Maybe at 5-10%, but it's like a week, maybe 2 weeks before you think you should be harvesting. What if you think you're still going to have that swell, that last 2 weeks of weight to put on? Are you going to wait, or are you going to harvest when those trichomes tell you to harvest?
I'm harvesting when the trichomes, for me anyway, just like I said, because I want the flavor. I ain't going to be tricked by the plant. Sometimes they finish early. Your environment has a lot, really the biggest factor on the timeline of the plant, right? And plus, not every seed's created equal, right? Some of them are gonna finish faster than others.
And you should definitely be checking all over the plant. So if you just check like one place, it could be a place like maybe you touched the plant there, and now those trichomes are going to be degraded, and then they're going to turn amber, and maybe the rest of the plant's not, and you just happen to be checking, your favorite cola that you look at all the time and mess with and touch, and then you look at it and it's amber, and you're like, oh, it's time to chop, but the rest of the plant that you've left alone is not ready.
And that's so true, though. We all
that's
have
a good point.
Our favorite cola in the tent.
Yeah,
of course, it's usually the big main ones.
We're always
touchy.
touching.
Don't touch your plants.
For sure. for sure.
So
And
yeah, that ruins it. But the whole is greater than the sum of its parts, I guess.
Yeah, and
When you're looking at
you're
these
not
plants, that's a
you're
whole
not
bunch of
not
different
looking
stuff.
at fucking fan leaves either, because those will amber up real fast and way early. You're looking at the bud,
or even
right?
sugar leaves. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, don't look at sugar leaves.
towards the middle of the bud,
Bracts.
right
Yeah.
where the bracts are, and that's the determining factor. That's
Yeah,
where I look.
you want absolutely. You want to look at the top of the plant, at the middle of the plant, at the bottom of the plant. If possible, you want to look in like on the inside of the plant where you might not be getting the most light on those buds. I mean, it might ripen at a different rate all
Oh, it does.
throughout the
Yeah.
The
height of
plant
that
doesn't
plant.
have
Oh,
to
well.
all be harvested at the same time. You
Nah,
can
don't be
harvest the
afraid.
plant in multiple stages. So
Yeah.
if the top is done, take that part, dry her, whatever, let the bottom part mature. Suddenly
Yeah.
give those larvae buds on the bottom the chance to get the light they never had the chance to see
There-
before.
There's
Now
nothing wrong
you're
with
the
that.
mains.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's called selective harvesting. There's nothing wrong with that. You can definitely chop off the tops and let the lowers grow a little bit longer. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
That is a great idea. Now it's in practice, it could be a little challenging. Could pose a
Sure.
little challenges. Like you're ideally you put all your crop into a dry tent at once, and you can manage the environment in it all through like its drying phase as one crop. If let's say you have to like chop and then a week later you have to chop more and put like fresh plants into a dry tent with plants that have already been drying for a week. Like I wouldn't personally like to do that.
No,
That's not ideal for me. So
no.
like what I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't do a staged harvest. Like I don't think in practice that would work for me very well.
No, I've only done it a few times, but usually if you are going to do it, the timing works out pretty well because those lowers can go easily another couple of
Another
weeks.
2 weeks, like
Yeah.
10 days, 14 days. By the time
Yeah.
the first stuff's dry,
That's just how it's worked out for
ready
me
to
when
chop the others, huh?
when I've done it.
As
I've
long
only
as
done it when I've had a tent to spare, honestly. So I'd
But-
just take the top, put it in a different tent, and then when I take the bottom, I just flip it over and
all right,
turn
I've-
the tent that it's in into the dry tent.
I've also noticed that certain plants will actually just cease to do anything after you've chopped most of them away. Like they don't want to really progress much further after that. They're kind of like, "What the fuck? You just mutilated me, you know what I mean? And now you want me to,
where did that
Yeah.
top half of me go?
yeah, you just cut all of me off, and now you want me to go on stage and perform." So
I
yeah.
do think it takes some time for them to rebound a little bit because if you think, especially like photo periods, I would think would be better at it than autos because photos can re-veg. So given the time, they'll get that energy going again and continue with whatever stage they're in. Auto flowers might be more difficult.
Okay,
They're a little more
that's a
prone
great
to dramatic.
So we can do this with autoflowers too, like a staged harvest.
I don't
course you
see
can.
why not. Yeah.
Of course you could.
Yeah.
I think that
Why not?
photos potentially respond better to it than autos do.
It's really not something that I would really even encourage anybody to do personally.
But
Just
if
harvest
you
all
are
at
going to
once.
do it, I'd say chop maybe less than half of the plant
Oh,
off
yeah, I would agree.
to
Mhm.
like, you know what I mean? Chop off the big colas at the top that you know are done, and then let the rest of the plant finish. Yeah, another 10, 12, 14 days. Yeah, go for it. F around, find out.
What are you censoring yourself?
F around and find. I was like, what?
Fuck
Wait,
around, find
what?
out. I don't know.
Fuck around and find
Hey,
out.
Fuck around and find out. Exactly.
Jesus
I
Christ!
know. So yeah, it's something you can do for sure. Now, what? So let's see. We've talked about like foxtail and we've talked about trichomes.
Leaf senescence.
Great one, G3. It like so. Does this happen to everyone, or is this a? I mostly see it, let's just say, in organic growers. If you are feeding salts, I think, like if you've tapered down your feed at the end, or you've started some kind of flush process, like you're definitely going to see senescence, right? Lots of pretty
Dropping the
colors.
temperature.
Some
Stuff
plants will
like that.
just senesce no matter what. You could be feeding them till
Yeah.
the day they die, and they just tell you they're ready.
I love that. I love the plants are so smart.
Yeah.
So word, all right, it doesn't require any special inputs from the grower. Let's say you can make the fades bigger, brighter, happen more quickly, right? You can bring them on yourself if you do certain things.
Yes and no. I mean, I think what did we call this a couple weeks ago? Like delusional fucking
Delusions of senescence.
Yeah.
Well,
So like,
it's like just starve them a little bit and they'll fade, right? They just eat themselves.
yeah. No, I tend to think that that's something the plants just do. Like even in salts, I you can tell like they just start senescing. They're getting towards the end, and that's
Yeah.
usually a you know
Is
Yeah, it's
it?
the
They just
cells
have
in
it
the
like
leaf dying. Truly,
Yeah.
that's what it is. So, yeah, it's just like leaves outside in autumn.
mhm.
it's just like embedded in their DNA to only survive so many weeks after that flowering process begins.
Exactly.
And yeah, like the leaves fade, like they stop drinking. If you'll notice like wow, they're using a lot less water than
That's
they
actually
were.
I'm glad you touched on that because that's really that's the first thing I notice. Really, right? Like I'll fill a reservoir, look at it in a couple days, and I'm like, wow, there's still a lot of water in here. Um, must be getting close to the end. That's the first thing I notice. That's what catches my attention first is how much the drinking slows down because it's so dramatic. Like when they're deep in flower, they'll drink over a gallon a day each plant easily, no fucking
Oh
problem.
yeah.
And with the autopots, and then you come back and a 50-gallon res still has 30 gallons in it a week later, and you're like, okay, like I see what's going on here. They're starting to slow down, and the timeline usually lines up. 6, 7, 8 weeks in. I've had some stuff really that I've harvested at like 45 days.
No
So
shit.
yeah, it's just like it's ready. You know, um, it's all the signs line up, right? I'll say this much: when it comes to taking a plant down, all those things line up for me. Like it's started to drink less. It's starting to give me some senescence, right? The trichromes are telling me that it's ready, and part of part of you almost like wants to fight that, and I did for a while. You're like, yeah, breeder says
Yeah,
this is an 8-9 weeker. Um,
I was just gonna say this, right? Like, and that's we got our chat. Nicholas Hagee says, I try to go by the flowering time of the breeder, what the breeder recommends, right? And I think sometimes we get a little too reliant on those things because your environment in your tent is different
yeah,
from the breeder's environment in their tent. Like
And the
simple
breeder
as
knows
that.
exactly what those plants want to grow them as quickly as possible to perfection because they've been working with the strain.
So what G3? You're saying you would
So
just
there's
defer
no
to
delay.
to the
No,
breeder?
I would say that the breeder can get a plant done way faster than a standard person because they don't have to learn the plant. They already know the plant.
They
So they
should.
give it what it
They
needs
should.
right when it needs it. There's no delays, there's no stalling, there's no stunting, there's no nothing. There's
plus like
no
his environment, his inputs, his lighting schedules, everything,
or hers.
intensity, hers, you're right. They, them, whatever. It's going to be different than yours. So,
Hmm.
like, I honestly, I really don't even look at breeder guidelines. I just, I go into it thinking this. I'm expecting this to go at least 8 weeks. And that's a plus or minus 1 to 2 thing. You know, like sometimes it can go sooner, sometimes it can go longer. I'm counting on 8 weeks. Sometimes it's 7, sometimes it's 10,
Hmm.
whatever. Sometimes it's a little over 6. Like
I
the sauce is a quick one. You can get that to fucking finish in 7 weeks.
Yeah, I
Just
think
gotta,
it's helpful when they group them. I mean, you can kind of take a breeder's numbers and group them into like short, medium, and long. Like, oh, we know that this one, it has a super short flowering time. Okay,
Hmm.
so it's relatively short. Or there's pretty standard. Or, oh, the sativa takes freaking forever. It goes long. So the breeder can kind of give you an idea, but I wouldn't be like, okay, breeder says this is supposed to finish next week. Doesn't look like it's going to finish next week. What's wrong? There's nothing wrong.
Oftentimes, I find myself disappointed with the information that I'm getting from a breeder because I could literally give a shit about less about the flowering time, like what they tell me the flowering time is. Because, like I said, I just go into it with the same mindset no matter what is, unless I know it's like something heavy sativa and I know it's gonna flower for longer. Like I know Mass Medical's got like a
yeah,
fucking Acapulco that can go like 24 weeks or some shit like that. So,
Whoa.
um,
yeah.
yeah,
You usually have a good idea of when you should be harvesting, but like, I don't know. I would just say, like, despite what breeder recommendations are, like, you may have a certain input in your environment that's not present in theirs that could very well force your plant to finish sooner, later, in a different fashion. Like you just have to be observant, read the plant itself, like, and just, yeah, you're the grower, you have to make that ultimate call. Like, so, like, be in tune with the plant, I
Yeah.
would say.
And they're not clones, most of the time. You're not going on breeder
Exactly.
recommendations from clones, you're going on seeds.
Exactly. Could
And
be a totally different pheno.
so
right,
I
even
I
though they're sisters, they're not the same.
I just googled it because I wanted to remember it, but there's a chemical. Well, actually, it's a hormone called ethylene. Are you familiar with that at all?
I've
So
heard.
basically,
I've
Yeah.
heard of
it's
it.
it's a ripening hormone. It's crucial in the role of
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
right. So I was
That's like
trying.
if you chop a tomato,
Yeah,
let's say you chop a green tomato and you put it in like a paper bag, it'll release that hormone and like it'll turn red itself and
Yeah.
just like
yeah, and it can also help other things
other
around it
tomatoes, right? Yeah,
ripen quicker. Right.
that's crazy.
So I saw something linked. It was like a study between um, people that like are around a lot of like fruit and vegetables that eat a lot
Hmm.
of fruit and vegetables in between their cannabis plants finishing times with that being sped up from ethylene. And I didn't study
Huh.
the thing long enough to really get a huge grasp on it, but that makes sense to me. So like let's say somebody fucking who knows, dude, maybe they sit in front of their tent and eat a fucking banana while they look at it, like, you know what I mean? Who the fuck knows, there are so many factors that can speed up a plant's development.
I
uh
wonder.
Just
Eat a
put a
lot of
bunch of bananas
bananas
in the
around
middle of
your,
your
yeah,
plant.
and you see that peel will get like brown as soon as you start, like, you peel the banana, right?
I'm gonna go
And then
chuck some bananas in my pots.
yeah, put some
Why
put some
not?
banana peels under your plants.
I've been popping these little 5 milligram
Let's
THC
fuck
candies
around and find out.
my buddy gave me, and now I'm out of them. Sucks.
That's
Oh,
actually, dude, I honestly, like,
One
I
more.
can't believe I've never heard anyone talk about ethylene with cannabis before. That's a great,
You've heard
do
it
you know,
before.
all
I'm
plants
definitely not the first person to bring it up.
do they respond to ethylene?
I think
I
so.
Do
don't
all
know,
That
plants
dude.
respond to ethylene?
Yeah, I
I
would
mean, I know
imagine so.
I don't know.
tomatoes and bananas and stuff. I just
Mm.
I
don't know
wonder.
all of them.
I
All
don't
right,
know.
now I have some research to do.
Do know. All right. So, I want to just real quickly. I do want to bring up a couple images. Just it's disappointing, but it happens. Community we're in is largely unregulated. there are a lot of shysters, hucksters. What would we call them?
Conmen.
Shysters,
Con people?
hucksters, grifters, and con people. Exactly. Like there's
Con people.
it's a lot of deception, man, and it sucks to say, but like it happens. You know what I mean? I just want to show people kind of some of what's going on out there.
I'm glad you're bringing this up. I was going to
Post it in our
ask you
Discord.
to.
So
So
I don't know if
funny.
you can see this in particular.
Can you zoom in?
Can I
guess
zoom?
I'll
All right,
put
all
it
right,
up.
all right. So we have, what we have here is, again, breeder on breeder crime. We got breeders calling out other breeders. Make your own opinions about what I'm showing you. But what I see is two different strains, same picture, just rotated and cropped a little bit.
1,000 fucking percent.
So it's literally flipped.
Just flipped. Like not even that great of a Photoshop job.
No, because
you know
you
what
can
I mean?
clearly see like the foxtails rotated like 75 degrees. Yeah, I mean this is brutally fucking obvious. And I would love to like say like no, but no. This is brutally even to the point if you look at some of these leaves that have yellowing in them.
Yep.
Right?
Every bract, every pistil,
It's-
everything.
It's like you ever do those games at the bar where it's like, here's two pictures. Now circle the 12 parts that are different. It's like there are no differences.
Look at
like,
these.
There's none. I've done those games.
Towards the bottom of the picture, those little lowers, right? You can clearly see that it's just a different angle of
Right. They're just mirror images of each other.
This is fucking
They are
gross.
the same picture.
Yeah, this is gross.
So
this is
it's
ethos?
not just that was
this is
examples from it was
somebody
Ethos
selling
did
Ethos
this.
Genetics. It's
Okay.
Ethos didn't do it.
Gotcha. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because I'd like to think
misspoke.
that like
was it the breeder or is this a seed bank misrepresenting the strain?
Bank.
That's a good question.
Is this even a seed bank, or are they just some white label or fucking?
No,
trying to
because they
win
had multiple. I think it was. Who was it that pulled them out? THC Titan.
So what's the
like
post about? What's the post say?
So I'm not actually in Instagram. I'm just looking at the pictures that were posted in our Discord, right? So like if you can go get into the drama if you really do want to go look. These were posted by I don't know. So what this is
Okay. So it's somebody saying
a
that
different example.
It's somebody saying that they're stealing their pictures. Ethos is stealing their pictures. Is what
no, it's just I think it's I want to say it's THC Titan was going through different seed banks and pulling up different listings that had the exact same picture.
Yes.
And then posting it on Instagram as like hey, this is not okay.
Yeah. I bet you it's just lazy
out seed banks and breeders and
calling out.
I bet you it's
the
just
misrepresentation of certain strains and stuff.
Yeah.
And it could be, I don't know. I feel like this comes from the breeders in a lot of cases. Could be wrong, but like that's where the pictures, right, have to come from somewhere. Like if breeders are growing their own strains, right, they should be able to provide a picture of the strains that we're looking at, right? Different example, right? Like again, we see the same exact bud. It's just rotated. It's just maybe a little like different, like
no, that one's blatant.
Saturation.
It's
they're just mirror images of each other, all
that
of them,
one,
and one's zoomed in.
Yeah, that one is 100% just a mirror image zoomed in. Yep. And now, so who are the two different breeders in this particular example we're showing?
I'm sorry, this is DNA genetics now.
Okay.
again, it's THC Titan, a breeder calling out other breeders on their particular websites is
Yeah.
the
So
way I take it.
so
Oh,
who
look, 3 of them. Holy
is
cow.
it? It's the
Yeah.
same. It's the same breeder.
Nope, this is a different breeder now.
Okay.
This is, we went through, like, we had Ethos, we had I forget who else, but now we got, this is DNA genetics, okay, and
Yeah,
here's
another well-known name. Yeah.
This is, again, I guess more DNA genetics, but, like, again, same
Is it
thing.
at their actual pages or is it just somebody? Yeah, it
Oh,
looks
that-
like it's their page.
It looks like
Yeah.
it's their actual page, right?
Especially something like that. Like that one is very unique. I'd say. Like you don't see a lot of cannabis strains that white. That one's clear. It's the same.
Same thing.
It's S for same.
These are the same picture,
yeah.
right?
1000.
So, like,
And
I
it's really
just don't.
easy. Like these are not listed next to each other on their websites. They're far enough apart that, after looking at pages and pages and pages of flower, it's easy to miss the two of them look almost identical or exactly
It is.
identical.
It is.
I'll
It
say
is.
this
Now,
much.
here's a tricky one. Right? Right.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Trimmed and not trimmed.
But it's
Wow.
just not even. Is it trimmed or is it Photoshop?
Yeah, it could be
I
Photoshop.
think it's just Photoshop,
I'm
G3.
pretty sure
I
it's
don't even think
Photoshop.
they trimmed it in real life. I think they just trimmed it
That's
in
fucking
Photoshop.
unreal. All right.
Virtually
So,
trimmed.
I will say
That's
this much.
hysterical.
Because I don't know enough about like these situations in particular or these breeders to really comment. But I will say
And
this
this
much.
was Lit Farms.
I know for a 1,000% for a fact that there have been breeders out there that have released two different strains supposedly that were the same strain, right? Because hey, if one strain's not selling, let's relabel it and call it something else and say right. And am I saying that's what's happening here? Looks like it, but I can't say for can't.
Dude, just like how brazen do you have to be to just like fuck it, we'll just put up the same picture. Like haven't grown this strain anyway. Like just we gotta have a picture on the website. Like we gotta have 12 strains in this seed drop. Like put up this picture. It's the same picture. We'll just saturate it differently. We'll cut some leaves off in Photoshop. It's like, man,
that's super lazy. Because if they really wanted to, you could actually do a much better job of what they're attempting to at least do.
I know, right? I know. It's like Nicholas says, right? It's almost like they don't give a fuck.
Almost, yeah.
It's almost like it's almost near deliberate, and like they're just kind of like they're being real lazy about it. All right,
It's such a shame. Our community really is built so much on trust.
I can promise you'll never see anybody that does that's been on our fucking show.
That's
For sure.
for
If
sure.
they do, we'll call them
G3
out.
said it. This is it's we kind of operate on an honor system. You know what I mean? Like the fact that this is all unregulated, unchecked. There's it's just you're taking someone's word for it that like you're getting what they say you're getting. If you find any deception anywhere in anyone's game, okay, how can I believe a single thing you say now?
Mm-hmm. Even a whisper of impropriety will drive people in the community away because there are so many other better options.
That's the thing, G3. You don't have second chances in this community. Now, you've seen breeders kind of rebrand, and there's been guys that have come out, with different names, and people have no idea. I'm not even going to tell you who, because if you're dumb enough to buy the seeds, and you're dumb enough to do it. But, there's so many other options out there. You get burned once, or you see some shady shit like this. I know this much. There's no fucking way in hell, even if, let's just say that this is a mix-up or a mistake. Now, this isn't. This is clear, blatant.
Yeah.
Like this example right here, this is fucking.
This shows intent
and blatant intent to deceive. There's no way
sure.
around it. The other ones, like where the picture's the exact same, for instance, let's say like that could just be a mix up. Like
Well, they had to
there's
flip it though. They're all mirror images of
yeah,
each
yeah,
other.
the flipped ones, no, that's like flipped
Oh, so when
ones.
you're saying what's the exact same picture,
Yeah,
somebody
like
could have accidentally
I'll
uploaded
give
something
them, I
different.
can give somebody the benefit of the doubt on that one, but like this right here, and especially it's the same breeder, right? Like it's the same
This is a
split farm
different
or
breeder
whatever.
now. Yeah, this is
Yeah,
a
Yep.
different breeder
yeah.
now.
And one
I
is
So
supposed to be
I will say it right now.
Class
Fuck
Azul,
you,
and
Lit
those lemon
Farms.
maraschino.
Yeah,
yeah,
fuck
that's a
you, Lit
bad thing to
Farms.
do, man. It's a
Fuck
bad thing to
you.
do.
I hope nobody buys your gear, and
It
I hope
just
you get spider mites.
yeah, right. I hope I could send him a clone or two. We could make that happen.
Oh my
Fuck.
gosh.
Can you mail somebody spider mites?
Biological
I
warfare.
don't know if they would survive the trip, man, but
Yeah.
Yeah, they would.
listen, it's
Yeah.
it's a shame that this shit happens. It really is, but like it just shows laziness, I think, and if it does kind of show a contempt for us as customers.
Yeah.
And I like
I
again, I would have a hard time believing anything that this person says anymore about anything they're selling.
all
I
those
just
things
would.
you said are true. The laziness and all that, I can even look past that. But the blatant intent to fucking rip me off. You fuck you, Lit Farms, and anybody else with these business
Yeah, and
practices.
even I don't know if that was on Ethos's site or if that was any breeder who does this kind of shit is
Yeah,
despicable.
go fuck yourself.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's
Get out there and do the fucking work. I mean, look,
grow your own gear. Take a picture.
let's be real here. Like, let's just say you're a full-time cannabis breeder, right? And you're making it. You're doing well. Okay. You're still living the fucking dream. Don't be fucking lazy and do this type of shit because you're a cunt. And I wish nothing but bad things to happen to you. In your business.
Send a plague your way.
That's just
So the
terrible,
lesson
man.
at the end of the day,
Crickets falling from the sky, and
do your due diligence.
Yeah.
Research
Yeah.
what you're
the
getting
the
into.
onus is on us as customers. Like we have to be, we have to do our research. We have to investigate what it is we are purchasing. But in just like, all right, hear me, like if I'm a new grower, I want to buy some seeds. Like I gotta work my way through the Google gauntlet of fraudulent websites like ILGM and like Barney's Farm, or not that they're the worst in any way, shape, or form,
I
but
like
like
some of Barney's.
listen, we got to get through all the sponsored posts before we can get to like a reputable, I would call like a seed bank, okay? And then we actually have breeders in the community who are well known and like should be, representing the finest genetic purveyorship available, in 2025. Yet they are lying and deceiving and making it hard for people to understand what it is they're getting. I hate everything about it.
It's gross. It's
It
gross.
is.
It
It
is.
is. It's
So,
gross.
just buyer beware. And like, again, like any breeder we've had on this show doesn't do this shit,
Do
and
better.
Doesn't need
they-
to.
no. Like we have some real people on that do the work. If any picture they post of that strain is the picture they took
Yep.
of a plant they grew. You know what I mean? That's my rant.
It gets all angry, doesn't it? It makes
Well,
you-
It does.
Yeah.
I just feel for the new people out there who just want to grow
It really
something
isn't
good.
It really isn't that hard, honestly. You just kind of have to get into the communities, even fucking scum fuck Reddit. You can weed through that enough to kind of get opinions, right? And I'd say even honestly, like a solid couple hours on Instagram and Reddit can give you a good idea of who's doing things, right for the most part.
Mhm.
I think you can get an idea because the community doesn't lie. You know what I mean? If somebody's not doing things right, sure, you got a lot of people that love the dick ride, right? Um, but at the end of the day, that shit doesn't go as far as you know.
No.
You got to be doing something right, or you're not going to be around for long. So go back and look at somebody's Instagram page. If they have something that goes back years, right, of posting and people are engaging, and then you can start to research that breeder and narrow it down to a few select. It isn't too hard. Just don't go with the first thing that pops up in Google. Like, you don't ever want to click on a link that says sponsored. Google tells you right at the
They
top.
do. They do.
It says sponsored. Don't click. Scroll past to like 4 or 5 links below where it doesn't say sponsored, and work with that.
Scroll well past that. For sure. All right, so I want to bring up a. Well, we've seen the bad. Now I want to see the good. I want to see a Patreon garden that I can just dive right into here. All right, we'll do someone new here. Do someone new.
I'm good. I'm glad we're getting to this because I'm crashing here pretty hard. Fucking cold and kicking my ass.
I hear you, man. We get couple minutes here. I'm gonna go. We're gonna go to AG Organics, one of our newer Patreons.
Okay.
Last minute decision. I know. I told you guys we were going somewhere else, but we'll get there next time.
Oh shit! And then I have something to give away before we end the show.
Oh,
Fun.
Yep, courtesy of BGG. I totally forgot about it. You just reminded me.
cool. All right, so here's my lovely Discord. We're in AG Organics' garden at the moment.
Pretty. Nice color.
Says Grape Apes in week 7 of flower from RQS, Royal Queen Seeds.
Okay.
Grown from seed. He says he did not do such a great job at growing. Had water issues using RO without the proper supplementation of EC. Gotcha. So you were watering straight RO and with a little CalMag. Yeah, that'll lead to some delusions of senescence, I would say. Then when you use tap water, right, they started producing some seeds. All right, interesting. Maybe just switching the water midway through, like, wasn't great.
I think it's probably just coincidence. Nice, pretty good looking canopy,
they're
though.
pretty though. Look at them.
I know.
Pretty good looking canopy.
I love the scrog job.
They
Yeah.
look great regardless of the issues.
Yeah, I mean, I think he did pretty well overall, right?
I wouldn't be worried about that at all. I mean, that looks great.
That looks like senescence to me. They look like they're finishing.
They are yellow, but they're not like damaged looking. You know what I mean?
There's a difference. And you can see the red mixed with the yellow. That's the key. That's also key in the senescence factor.
Look how pretty that one is.
Yeah.
So pretty.
Maybe if he had
maybe she.
Yeah, could be very well be a she.
Actually, you're right. I see some fingernails there. It could be his lady friend or whoever. But anyway, or a male friend who likes long fingernails. Right? I mean,
we are not here to judge, man. We're just here to judge your garden.
Yeah.
Not your personal preferences.
They say they had some issues along the way, right? You can see that like the bud structure is not huge. So maybe if they had done a little bit better along the line, but don't kick yourself for this at all.
No,
this is great. You
looking.
killed it. Even the lowers look pretty full there, right? Towards the bottom of that shot. Yeah, you did good. And you didn't fuck up the plants. Like the plants don't look fucked up. That's key. You made it to the finish line without fucking destroying your plants. I'd say that's a win.
For sure. I mean, when I see a plant finishing up like this, right? We talked about the senescence and stuff, and like how it looks like it's just kind of, it's not damaged. There's no like splotches. There's no
brown spots.
Yeah, there's no brown spots. It's not dead. It's just fading, and that's a sign of like a healthy plant to me. That's a good That's a happy ending right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, beautiful plants. And these are, again, were those Royal Queen seeds. So, sometimes you can get some good European genetics.
No, Royal Queen is like I mean I wouldn't they wouldn't be my number one recommended, but I haven't had anything bad to say about them. They're lesser known,
Everything I've gotten from them has been okay. Nothing
Yeah.
amazing, nothing mind blowing, but great. Like fine, good.
Now, I think what we're seeing here is just that, like, fuck it, I'm going to put a light in a spare room and no plant, like no tent.
I don't know about that. I think this looks like a maintenance pick.
You think? Because I'm seeing that, like, cord, right? In that top
It
left.
could be wrong.
That's a cord to a grow light, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe.
Like, that's powering a driver to a grow light.
Possibly, but isn't this carpet? It looks like a carpet. Yeah. I mean, I don't
It
know.
does. I mean, I've seen people grow plants on carpet, man, especially when they're just on, like, self-watering AC Infinity bases.
Mm-hmm. For something to catch the water.
I don't know, man. I'm like, the story I'm creating with this picture is that it's these are 3 autoflowers grown in a bedroom with no tent involved, which is pretty awesome if that is the case. I don't think I'm that far off. Again, I see the power cord to the driver.
Pretty tall.
They are. Let's say, like, what, 5-gallon, 3-gallon pots? I don't know. Got some. This is an AK-47. Like we've been talking about that tonight. This is a fast buds plant. They say they were quite happy with the results. Mm-hmm. Those bright green buds. Actually, that looks fantastic. That does indeed look like AK-47 too. Very well done. Very well done.
I like that leaf structure.
That's cool.
Ooh.
When you see the bends in the stalk from, like,
those look like bud trainer bends to me.
Yeah.
Cool training.
I love those curves. They make me, like, laugh every single time because they just look so silly.
It's always nice to see. I like it myself as well.
This one in particular too is just like it's
so
very
lanky,
abstract.
Curvy. I love it.
They did very well cleaning up all the bullshit so that you're only going to get good bud.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I
Maybe
like
a little more than I would go, but you're definitely ensuring yourself there that there will be zero.
Those are all going to fatten up.
That's a zero larf plant right there.
Hell yeah. And it's very, like, it's very modern art.
Yes.
Very abstract. Impressionist growing.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool looking. Yeah, nice and green leaves. Again, I'm not getting a sense if this is organic, if this is, synthetic. Just, yeah. I don't know. Maybe, what would you guess? You getting any signs?
No. It's probably organic, though.
So here's a picture, right? Yeah, I would say, mate, that would be my guess, too. Just based on... Yeah, I think they did say they were doing the... like, no fertilizers, just like RO water, and that was some of the issue. Now, this is... when I see something like this on my buds, this is like the plant saying, like, take me now. Right? This is like... this when I mentioned that, like, asymmetrical type growth and shooting out new pistils at the end, right?
Yeah, that thing looks pretty finished.
It's like it wants to grow more, but if it's going to grow more at all, it's going to be like lopsided and kind of misshapen. You know what I mean?
You can even start to see this leaf there towards the bottom started to die. It's done. There's lots
Yeah.
of fade in the background.
Does
Yeah,
it say
yeah.
how many weeks it is?
Well, no, but they are aware. You know, that says coming to an end very soon. Chop, chop.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, yep, absolutely. Like when you see this, it's like, you know, I'll be.
Those like Hail Mary pistols.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But I
It
see a
actually might
lot
even
of
be a nanner
people.
or two. You know what I mean? This is when the nanners will come.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people mistake that and let their plants go.
No, like that's not new growth that you want around, man. Like that's just, you know.
100%. But there's people that do.
Oh, here you go. This is a fun picture.
Nice bathroom. You know how many plants I fucking hung in bathrooms? Fucking.
That is a nice harvest.
A
Look at
nice
that.
bathroom dry. I
Yeah,
love it.
good spare bathrooms work great.
So what do we got? We got the blacked out window
Yep.
with like a trash bag. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm seeing
I see. I think it looks like a flat iron there. Wifey does her hair. Fucking.
right next to the plants. I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, my wife would shit a fucking kitten if that's where
It's
she
like-
did her hair.
It's like the meme of that girl like doing her hair in the bathroom, like crying to herself as she's like doing it. You know, like,
My
I'm
wife
surrounded
would
by
flip
plants.
out. She would flip the fuck out.
But all right, I'm trying to get a sense of like what the appliances are. I think I'm seeing a dehue and a humidifier. I mean, that's
Yeah.
how I run my dries. That could be like the heat for the bathroom though. I think I'm seeing at the very least a humidifier. Maybe in a space this big for a dry, like you don't have to worry about dehumidifying. You just have to fill it up with enough moisture to be at like 60%, you know?
That's definitely a good size
Especially in
space
the
to dry.
winter. Yeah.
Yeah. Or you just start the shower. Take a nice hot shower and get that humidity jacked.
I wouldn't recommend that.
Too much.
Yeah.
You do have to be careful if you're adding
That's hot steam. That's
moisture
not-
to your dry. You really got to be careful about where you're shooting it.
Yeah.
So are we not showering until the weeds dried? If this is how you
I
do
mean,
it.
Maybe
that's
it's
what the
fine.
picture looks like.
You're
If
just taking one for the team.
if they're showering with the weed, I mean,
Or you got a bathroom bee in the house, perhaps. Like
well, I
that's
do
certainly
see
possible.
like some showering supplies in the corner of that shower there. So there have been people that have showered in that stall. But I think you may have hit the nail on the head the first time. Like, no, we're not using this bathroom to shower while we stand there. Yep, pick a different bathroom.
Okay. Well, and if you do, then maybe take like a quick, like not as hot shower as you might
Yeah,
want
I
to.
guess. Yeah, I don't know.
Don't fill it up with as much steam.
Turn on the dehumidifier.
Yeah, priorities, like Joan says. You gotta have priorities.
For sure. Look at that.
Yep.
Perfect
Take care of
drying
that.
conditions, I must say.
Yep.
That's cool. Very cool. All right.
Nice.
And
Congrats on the harvest.
After the harvest, planted some more. We got some alebrijes coming up, the blue zormigas.
I like how he sends those plant tags.
I know. Aren't they
Nice
the
touch.
coolest? I know.
Nice touch.
Handmade
Yeah.
artwork for your garden.
Yep.
It's great. It's great. Yeah. And then Alebrije says, "Let's go. Let's go." That's right. I feel the same way. Well,
All right.
that's a hell of a garden.
So before I forget, we are
Congrats.
getting to
Beautiful
the
work.
end. BGG has advised me to give away a pack of George's root beer.
Oh, no shit.
It's a full pack, 5-pack Fems, 5+. If you know how BGG does the shit, you'll get more
Wow.
than 5 beats. So we're
Oh my
gonna
gosh, I'm so excited for you guys. This stuff
Yeah,
is
right? This is-
amazing.
Amazing.
we're gonna make a quick giveaway here. So all you have to do is type into the comments BGG. It's that simple. No hashtag, nothing. Just BGG. 1 entry per person. We will select a winner. Go now.
Nice. Yeah, you gotta. That's awesome. Now, if you are not familiar with George's Root Beer, well, go listen to the latest episode just dropped on Spotify. But you should be.
She's
should be.
special.
We've all
She's
been
really
smoking
special.
her on various shows and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
She's really unique.
Yeah, no, it's a great strain. One of my faves. I'll be growing her real
he
soon.
did what? It's George from Irie crossed with GMO root beer, I believe from.
Ooh, I can't remember. Hold on.
No, it was someone really good, but yeah, like a phenomenal strain.
So here we go. We have 13 entries. There's 44 people
Yeah, come
watching
on, guys.
live.
Come on, guys. Get in this.
Anyone
Get in
else?
this.
There you go. It's from Ethos.
Ethos. All right, cool. Well, hopefully we got an accurate picture of the strain.
I don't
It was
know. That's
posted on the
shady.
site.
Shady fuck BGG. So yeah, once again, in case you weren't listening or you were doing a bong hit or whatever, fucking finger blasting your wife, we're giving away a 5-pack of Fems from Big Green Guy of George's Root Beer. All you have to do is type into the comments BGG and you are entered. Don't try to enter twice, it won't work.
One entry per person.
One entry per person. And then I will click this draw button and it will draw a winner randomly. One of the cool features built into our streaming software. And you know who told me about this actually? Shout out to fucking Mac Attack.
Oh, dude, you've talked to him recently?
No, yeah, this is a while back. I
All right.
I did reach out to him a few months back. I actually to say hi. He's doing all right. So
He stopped by for the YAG 100th anniversary show.
Oh,
nice.
That was a while ago, but yeah, I miss him a lot. Mac, we miss you.
yeah, man.
Yeah, we miss
Come
you,
back
brother.
to us, Mac. But all right,
Baby,
you guys
I'm
are
back.
your time is up. You've
I still
had
see
enough
entries.
time to enter.
I still see people. We'll give him one more minute. Literally
All right,
one more
all right.
minute. I'm gonna set a timer.
BGG into chat.
Gotta stall for another minute.
Set a timer for 1 minute.
Gotta hang out with these idiots for another minute.
And I want to go. I gotta go to bed. I'm not feeling great. So
Oh, that stinks.
I know.
Oh, sorry about that. Well, I'm due to spray my garden down anyway. I got a buy date, like one of my every other day spray dates with all my plants. Get those girls wet.
all right, time's up.
Time is up, right? Time is up.
All right,
All
here we
right.
go.
The grand prize winner for the evening.
Opie.
Oh, look at that.
Oh,
What
Opie.
comes around goes around, Opie. Isn't that funny?
Congrats.
That is fucking pretty funny.
And huge thanks to BGG.
And I'm glad
That's
we
funny.
showed that live, so nobody could say we fucking rigged it. That's pretty
Nah,
fucking
man, that's
funny.
awesome, dude.
And dude, he was the last one to enter. Look at that.
Oh, you got in at the very end.
That's sick.
Oh.
Fuck.
That's great. That's great.
Congrats, brother.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Reach out to BGG, and actually, no, I'll get that out to you. Reach out to me with your info, and I will get that pack out to you.
Hell yeah. We love it. Thank you, BGG.
Yes,
that was very
thanks.
kind of you, sir. I see you in the chat there. He says, congrats, Opie.
I'm actually going to love it so much.
Yeah.
I
Really
can't
one
wait
of
to grow
the
it.
more unique like cultivars that's come out in a long time. I have to believe. So
Yeah. It's unique. Definitely unique.
Yeah. That's great. That's great. Well, thank you guys. Thank you, BGG. Thanks everyone for joining us live. Again, we appreciate you. Thank you to our Patreons. Thank you to our Discord community members.
We love you all.
Yeah. Everyone's got a place here on the grand old ship.
If you're not part of the Discord yet, come join us.
Yes, please. The link can be found on our website.
Yep,
or
and
you
just type in cultivation conversation right into Google. Our website comes right up. It's the first thing that comes
there
up.
you go.
You can't miss it.
Mhm.
Then there's a
Or you-
link up top there. It says Discord, and then there's even this fucking fat fingered fucking son of a bitch here that's gonna post a link for you guys right now.
Oh, look at
Boom.
that! Like spoon feeding the.
Yep, and make
That's
sure
just
if you're
so
watching this
nice.
video live that you like the video. It helps us out a lot. Gets more
Mhm.
people
Please.
to watch the show. If you're listening to this show and you don't happen to watch us live, we go live every Tuesday 9 p.m. Most Tuesdays 9
Yeah.
p.m. Eastern Standard
Mhm.
Time, the real time zone. And yeah, do us a favor. Head over to our YouTube. Just give us a quick subscribe. It helps out a lot. Even if you don't,
Smash the follow
plan
button.
on fucking, watching the show on YouTube. I know, I get it. Listen, what, Cap? 95% of our consumers are coming from
yeah.
audio.
Yes.
I get it.
yes.
That's how most people consume podcasts. I get it, but it would help us out tremendously if you just
Yep.
give us a
Still
little
go
love on
go
the
subscribe.
YouTubes.
Mhm.
It helps the cause. We appreciate it all. And yeah, thank you guys for hanging out with me,
Thank
talking
you,
about
Kat.
Thank you.
the garden.
Thank you G3.
Always a highlight,
Thank
you
you,
know.
Monster.
Never know what
Thanks
kind
for
of
the chat.
antics will come up. It's always a
We love you
pleasure.
guys having here.
Yeah. Couldn't do it without you guys. Couldn't do it without the community. You know, just be a crazy captain talking to himself. Otherwise, so we love y'all, and till next week. Well, you got homework. Like I always say, go drop our name in a Reddit thread somewhere, please. Like I heard that on an episode of Cultivation Conversation. Post a link if you're feeling saucy.
And we have the whole backlog of all the shows. Anywhere you see, watch, whatever.
Yeah,
So,
we do. They're all on
go back and listen to
Spotify
some
for
old
sure.
stuff.
Yep, 173 fucking episodes. Unreal when I think
It's-
about it.
Yeah, it is crazy. It's like it's guaranteed. If you've listened to every episode, you've heard everything we've mentioned tonight at some other point. Just may not have been like all as presented in the exact same way. That's the thing. It's always different.
That's right.
There's always a little nugget too that you'll pick up that you didn't last time.
Yeah,
And our grows are always different.
no pun
And what we're
intended.
smoking on is always
Yeah.
different.
That's true. That's it's always a different episode, but
That's right.
much of the info is indeed the same because these methods that we promote largely don't change. They're kind of, we're not feeding you a bunch of malarkey.
Malarkey. I haven't heard that
It
word
works.
in a while.
It works.
It's not the trendy way to grow. It's the time tested. So, all right, guys. Well, you know the rules. Until next time, don't get caught.